I'm Dale Lawrence. Welcome to the Travel Show. Thanks for joining us. Later in the show, we'll be bringing you some of the highlights from the first series of the Travel Show. I'll also be talking to Adel El Masri from the Egyptian Tourism Office. Now, he's here in Thailand to promote Egypt's many tourist attractions. But first, here's a roundup of the latest news. There's more concern about overcrowding at Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi International Airport. Passenger traffic at Suvarnabhumi for the year ending 30th September exceeded 47 million. The airport, which opened in 2006, was designed to handle 45 million passengers a year. That's according to the Airports of Thailand, or AOT, the majority state-owned airport operator. AOT is predicting it will handle some 68 million passengers by the year 2016. The operator hopes to see work begin next year on a new domestic terminal capable of handling up to 20 million people. The costs are projected at more than 9 million baht, with construction taking around 5 years on current estimates. Bangkok Airways wants to expand its route network to India by introducing flights to Lucknow, New Delhi, Kolkata, and Chennai. But the airline will first need to secure traffic rights from the aviation authorities in India, and that's likely to take some time. Bangkok Airways is expecting delivery of 3 new narrow-bodied Airbus aircraft over the next 12 months. These additions to the fleet will help the airline to take advantage of the boom in outbound travel from India. Well, I'm joined now by Mr. Adel El Masri, the director for the Egyptian Tourism Office, based in Mumbai, but actually your territory covers South and Southeast Asia, doesn't it? You've got a huge area to cover from your office in Mumbai. Now, it's been a tumultuous year, hasn't it, for Egypt? You had the revolution back in January. Things have settled down, and now you face this tremendously important responsibility of promoting Egypt as a safe and secure and an exciting tourism destination. And I think that's what's brought you to Thailand this week, hasn't it? To the trade fair here. What are you hoping to get out of this particular event?
Of course, this event also it's a very important event for us. And if we are here today, in fact, for 2 points. First point, we would like to continue to promote Egypt as an important destination, as one of the most important culture product in the world. And also, we would like to send a message for all our partner tour operators, airlines company, to inform them Egypt is safe and stable, and also to invite them to come to continue to visit our destination.
Right. Well, Egypt, of course, has always been a very popular place for people to visit for a holiday, whether they want to visit the ancient ruins, the Sphinx or the pyramids, or simply enjoy winter sunshine at a destination such as Sharm el-Sheikh. So it's not a new idea, but of course you face now the challenge of convincing travellers and tourists that everything is okay in Egypt after the events of earlier this year with the overthrow of the government. Are you succeeding in getting that message across?
Yes, of course. I want also to inform you something which is very important. First, if we talk about all what happened in 25 Jan, I think, from my point of view, it will give wonderful image about Egypt. and especially this event, it came with a peace. It means nothing happened like problems or
Yes.
It was very quiet.
Well, things,
situation.
I mean, it was all over very, very quickly in comparison with some of the other trouble spots in the Middle
Right.
East at the moment.
Right.
I mean, that probably surprised everyone, and certainly, I think, surprised the political observers watching from other areas of the world. It was obviously something that would have pleased people like yourself working in tourism, that very quickly you were able to get back to promoting the country as an exciting tourist destination.
Of course, and you know, for this event, for the moment, we are as a Minister of Tourism and also Egyptian Tourism Authority, we take a lot of initiative to manage. If we can call it crisis, but it's not, in fact, not a big crisis. And we also try to use some tools to manage this situation. And you know, in fact, we try for the moment to manage this crisis through three aspects. First aspect with our partner tour operators.
Yes.
We increasing the budget for joint campaign with them, and also we doubled our fam trip with them, and also with the media. The same, we doubled the budget for our media plan.
So you've been taking a lot of tour operators, travel agents, and journalists,
yes,
to Egypt.
This what happened
to show them that
the situation in
normal
reality.
now.
Yes,
Yes.
And I think everything it will come back to normal quickly. And also through the media, we doubled our budget for our media plan. And at the same time, also with the airlines company, especially today, for example, with our partner here, Egypt Air, our
Yes.
national company.
Who we interviewed recently on the travel show. I was delighted to be talking earlier in the series to Yusuf
exactly.
Gad, the country manager
Yes,
here.
he is a wonderful, in fact, he is a wonderful director.
Well, I know you two work very closely together, don't you, in terms of encouraging people
You know, Egyptian
to
Tourism
use Egypt
Authority-
Air and to have
Yes.
that stopover in Cairo.
Because also you can't promote Egypt as a destination without our national
Yes.
company. So, and today also our message, if we are here, also because you know ITCMA, one of the most important exhibition for MICE. So today I would like to send a message for also our partner tour operator to tell them Egypt also it's a very important destination as a MICE.
So one of the reasons you come specifically to this event is to promote Egypt as a destination for the corporate market.
Yes,
for
exactly.
events and conferences and exhibitions.
Of course, you know our main product, it's a culture product.
Yes.
But I would like also to send a message today to tell for our partner, also that the Thai travelers, I would like to tell them, come experience Egypt. Egypt, it's not only pyramid. Egypt, it's not only pharaoh. We try to promote Egypt as a honeymoon destination, as a diving,
I think
as
you
a
could
golfing.
do both, couldn't you? I think you could have a wonderful
Yes,
honeymoon
we have also-
and still see all your wonderful cultural sites.
Exactly. So today I would like to tell them, come experience again Egypt, and Egypt waiting for you.
For the moment, Mr. El Masri, thank you very much indeed. We'll be back with more with Adel El Masri from the Egyptian Tourism Office after this short break.
Every year, millions of foreigners enjoy the sights and sounds the Land of Smiles always has on offer. Which locations and experiences are your favorite? Share them with us here on TAN Network. Email pictures of yourself or your family at your favorite Thai destinations, and we'll share them on air with TAN viewers nationwide. Send your chosen poses to tanviewer@gmail.com. Don't forget to tell us where the picture was taken and why the location made such a lasting impression. we'll be rewarding the happiest pictures with TAN Network jackets, so do join in and share your happy moments with us.
Welcome back. I'm talking to Adel Al-Masri from the Egyptian Tourism Office. Adel, how many people are going to visit Egypt this year? What's your prediction on the numbers of tourists?
Of course, for 2010, we received around 14.7 million.
That was a pretty healthy number, wasn't it? But of course, that was before the revolution.
Yes, of course. After the revolution, we, in fact, we lost a little bit. There is some cancellation and
which
some
entirely
holding.
understandable, I think. And that was probably entirely understandable. I mean, happens all over the world where you have major political upheaval. You know, some people obviously decide to stay away until things settle down a bit.
Of course, of course. There is some cancellation, and we lost, in fact, around more than 2.5 milliard dollar, because also the tourism, it present around 11.8% from our GDP, sorry. So which
it's nearly 12% of your gross domestic product, is it?
So
that's a very significant percentage.
Yes. So, but now we try to manage the problem quickly.
Yes.
This is why we are here, and we continue to
Yes.
promote Egypt as a important destination. And I also, if in Asia, especially if we will focus on Asia market, Asia market, it became very important. It's our future market.
Yes.
In fact. Because
well, it's certainly a very, very fast expanding market. You're based in India, of course, and we know all about the tremendous growth in terms of the outbound tourists out of India. China's the same. Are you getting a lot of visitors from China now? Have you managed to penetrate that market?
Yes, more than 50,000 for the moment. And also we have our office there. He also have a lot of effort, in fact. So this why Asia now became very, very important. For example, our office, it's open since 5 years ago now in India, and we looking to open new office in Malaysia and Thailand, and but of course not now, but it will.
But that's in your medium-term plans, is it, to have a much stronger presence throughout Southeast Asia?
Yes, in fact, yes. Yeah. But the problem now for the moment, we try to give more trust for our destination now. So this is why we try to show Egypt like before. It means with new concept, especially after 25 Jan.
And next year is going to be a very important year for you, isn't it?
I think so. This is why next, I think, for beginning of 2012, I think we will be more focused on our promotion, and also we will. I think we will our effort. It will be more. We will organize more events, more exhibition, more farm trip. Even we will double also our budget for our media plan, because for the moment we even if we spend a little bit money, I think beginning of next year we will spend more money for promoting Egypt as well.
Well, I'm betting that the new political masters in Egypt are going to set you some very difficult targets. They're going to want to see increased numbers of tourists and business travelers coming back to Egypt next year. And we can only wish you well as you seek to meet those targets. And I hope we'll see you back in Bangkok again very soon. Adel Al-Masri, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your channel, and I hope see you soon in Egypt.
Well, it's been our pleasure to talk to you today.
Thank you
very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My thanks to Adel El Masri from the Egyptian Tourism Office. Now, we began the first series of the travel show by visiting the ASEAN e-Travel Mart. Opening the event was Thailand's then Prime Minister, Abhisit Vejjajiva. Here's what he had to say. Good morning, Prime Minister. Do you have a very quick word for the travel show as you walk round? Just wondering if you have an upbeat message for the delegates today.
Yes, I do. I think the region has shown strong resilience during this past financial crisis. And now that we are more connected, more integrated, I think there's wonderful opportunities for the tourism industry.
So you're confident that we'll see record numbers of visitors to Thailand this year as you recover from the global economic crisis?
Yes, I do. I think a lot of people were very surprised that last year we registered a growth in the number of visitors, and I think that trend continues. The momentum's there.
Thank you, Prime Minister. The Prime Minister then continued his upbeat message in a speech to about 500 delegates.
For the ASEAN region, tourism is a key industry that employs a large part of the workforce and contributes to the GDP of every country. For Thailand, tourism has been one of our most successful industries, with 15.8 million foreign visitors to Thailand last year, generating 585 billion baht, or 7% of the gross domestic product. This year, we expect to welcome 17 million visitors, and tourism in Thailand is using greener infrastructure.
And after grabbing that quick word with the Prime Minister, I then spoke to the President of the Tourism Technology Association, the organisers of the e-Travel Mart.
About 80% of all information that's travel related are sought online. These are research information from various sources, from Google, from Focusrite, but almost 50 to 60% of bookings are done online. So the influence of technology on the travel industry is huge. But where the ASEAN region stands with adopting technology, we're still quite behind. And even though we have a lot of growth prospects in the future, we rely a lot on the Western systems and agents that are out there in the world, but have very little knowledge of producing systems ourselves or utilizing our own websites or various other applications. The world of technology is huge. There are a lot of instruments and tools that can be utilized to add value, add revenue, service for our businesses, because we are a hospitality industry. We need all of those elements to be perfect.
This was an event of huge interest to the tourism industry, as Willem Niemeyer explained.
Well, I think the Asian e-Travel Mart here is, as being the first one, it's very interesting and very important for the travel industry, especially in Asia, but I think worldwide. The web is very, very important for travelers worldwide. It's where they do their research, it's where they increasingly do their bookings. You can see it on airlines, they're doing increasingly direct bookings on their website. So for travel companies like mine, it's very important to be on the cutting edge of this technology. So that's why I'm here. I think Thailand in general is doing quite well if you compare to the rest of the region. Internet speed should go up and has to go up. I mean, we are really actively looking at now getting web-based technology for our reservations and CRM. So if we roll this out, we have to roll this out throughout all our companies throughout the region.
The ASEAN e-Travel Mart attracted a number of international visitors, including Bob Christensen from Seattle in Washington State.
Well, I'm very impressed with what I've seen here today, and I saw that it was coming, and it was the first one, and my company has tours to all of Asia, to all of the ASEAN countries, and I said I want to go and meet people and see what's happening with this new group and this new initiative. Well, I think this is one of the largest markets for the U.S. travelers. It's exotic. There's so much to see. Every country's different. It was mentioned today that you can go here one day and see a totally different culture the next day, and what a nice holiday and adventure that is. I think things will pick up. The economy is stumbling in the U.S. It's quite level. But again, it was mentioned today by one of the people on a panel that travel is not a luxury anymore. It's a necessity of life.
Now, Madame Tussauds opened as a tourist attraction here in Bangkok last December. And earlier in the series, I caught up with the general manager, Paul Williams. And I started by asking him whether visitors to Madame Tussauds now appreciated just what they could experience.
I don't know. We're still trying very hard to communicate the fact that it's about up close and personal and being able to touch the figures and have your photograph taken with them, and also a lot of the interactives. You can play football, you can play golf here, you can play basketball here. There's a karaoke room, and there's a lot of photo opportunities as well. And it really is different. It's not a museum; it's an attraction. I must admit, trying to communicate that has been rather difficult. But Madame Tussauds is not your normal wax museum. It's a wax attraction, and the interactives, all over the place. There are drawers and things to pull or screens to touch, and it's also a learning experience. We just launched Be the Star, runner-up in a local singing competition, and has now become very well known throughout the kingdom. And there are many more others to come, but there are Michael Jackson's, Beyonce, we're going to have Lady Gaga coming. So watch this space. I mean, there are a lot of very, very well-known international stars, as well as, politicians and leaders around the world.
Now, sport, of course, is a very strong theme here at Madame Tussauds. I know you've got David Beckham, Steven Gerrard, Tiger Woods.
We've also got interactive. So, for example, you mentioned Tiger Woods and stuff. You can actually play golf and putt the ball. For the David Beckham show, you can actually try and score a penalty, although he did miss a couple in various World Cups.
Now, tell me a little bit about the Thai personalities you've got here, because you start with the royal family, of course. There's a strong political element.
We were very honoured to be given royal permission to do His Majesty's, the Princess Mother, His Majesty the King's parents, dating from a photo of 1924. And they are the only figures, out of respect for the royal family and of the Kingdom of Thailand, they're the only figures you're not allowed to touch in any Madame Tussauds around the world.
Finally, Paul, now the Prime Minister told us only last week that he's looking to see about 17 million international arrivals coming to Thailand this year. Now that's very good for Thailand's tourism in general. That could be good news for you, couldn't it?
Yes, I think it is. I mean, one of the surprising things about Thailand, it had problems in 2008, 2009 obviously, and 2010. And what is surprising is that the international market, the inbound tourism, has been quite steady. It has dropped a little bit, but not as much as everybody would have expected.
I spoke again to Paul Williams when we returned to Madame Tussauds for the unveiling of Bollywood screen legend Amitabh Bachchan. But first, I caught up with the Indian ambassador to Thailand, Pinak Ranjan Chakravarti. Mr. Ambassador, you've just completed the official duties of unveiling this marvellous waxwork of a very famous Bollywood celebrity. Have you had the pleasure of meeting this gentleman in person?
Unfortunately not, but only on the screen, because when we went to college, I think he was then a rising star, and I think we all saw his movies and grew up on his movies, many of them.
It's been a wonderful export story for India, hasn't it, the whole Bollywood scene? It's travelled very well, and it's gaining popularity in many different parts of the world now.
Well, as in diplomacy, we have hard power and soft power. This is part of our soft power, or what we also call cultural diplomacy. And I think on this account, India has done well, and our movie industry is prolific, it is popular, and it is shown all over the world. And with the Indian diaspora in many countries, so the producers have an eye on the foreign market rather than the domestic market these days.
Well, that's probably a measure of its success now, isn't it? I mean, he's an interesting character, you know, on stage, on screen, and off screen as well. Spent a little bit of time in politics.
Absolutely, yeah. I think he's dabbled in almost everything. I think even he used to do a very famous version of. I think what's it called? Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Absolutely, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, yes.
In Hindi we call it Kaun Banega Karodpati. And I believe it was so popular, it was stopped in between. It was taken over by some other person. And now he's coming back with it, I'm told. So he's there everywhere, and he's quite an icon.
Well, I found one interesting quote that he'd made after his short spell in Parliament in India. He said he described politics as a cesspool. So rather than stay and try and clean it up, he went back to his career as a movie star.
Perhaps he got burnt by something, and that's why I think he turned his back on it.
Mr. Ambassador, if I could just turn your attention to another success story, if you like, and that's the one about India's outbound tourism. We're seeing more and more tourists leave the shores of India now to discover short, medium and long-haul destinations, particularly this part of the world. Are you expecting that trend to continue, and what message would you send to your compatriots back home about what they could expect to find in Thailand, for example?
Well, I think they don't need a message from me. They're coming in such large numbers now, and we probably hit 1 million this year. And Thailand is a very popular destination for Indian families, and we welcome them here, and we ask them to be careful sometimes of certain things that you would tell anybody visiting any foreign country. But they like it here. They find it closer to home. Thailand is our maritime neighbor. It's just a 2-hour flight from Calcutta. So it has all the ingredients that an Indian family wishing to enjoy a foreign holiday has.
And some of our general managers working here in Thailand are telling us that Thailand is becoming increasingly popular as a destination for Indian weddings.
Absolutely, yes. I've attended a few of them, and it is popular because it provides the facilities at, I would say, a very competitive price. If you throw in the airfares, the stay, the food, the wedding planning and all the expenses, it's a very, very popular destination. And I mean, somebody sitting in Delhi, if he or she plans a wedding in Mumbai, it'll probably cost less in Thailand than in Mumbai. So I think that is a very major incentive.
And very popular with the guests, I would imagine. Get a nice trip to Thailand and a wonderful wedding ceremony thrown in for good measure.
Absolutely. I think that is why it is becoming popular, and people who have the money, I mean, who can spend that kind of money, are coming here. And increasingly, of course, the middle-class tourism is growing. As India grows at 8-9% a year, it's a very, very large growing economy. And as India grows more prosperous, I think people will travel. And I think that explains the number of Indians who are traveling abroad.
You know, Madame Tussauds Bangkok launches new figures every quarter. So in any given year, you will have 3, 4, 5 new figures. And those figures are according to the feedback of what our customers want to see. Now, we have a close working relationship with TAT, the Tourism Authority of Thailand, and India is a growing international tourist market for Bangkok. They will touch probably the 1 million visitors this year, and they know that by 2015, 2016, it will be probably double that. Therefore, our customers, our Indian customers, would like to see maybe some of the Indian figures, Indian film figures. So Amitabh is one of the first, and in January we will be launching 5 more. I can't tell you who they are, but they are well-known Indian film figures and pop stars, even a Miss World.
Probably not cricketers, Paul. They've just been whitewashed in the series back in England.
Yes, but that may be a bit of a contentious issue, and yes, England did very well.
Well, that's it for this week's show. My thanks to Adel El Masri from the Egyptian Tourism Office, and indeed to all our guests. Next week I'll bring you more highlights from the travel show, but until then, from everyone on the team, it's goodbye.